So we want to thank you for joining us. This is kind of a treat for me personally because I usually am talking about recruitment, and while I think that is extremely important, migrant ed without services is just basically a census program. And so we really want to make sure that we're also able to offer resources in all areas. And so IDRC, we were just funded in December, a grant through AT&T. And so we're here today to talk about that. And I have my colleague, Yasmin, she'll be introducing herself in just a little bit. That's also with me, and you will get to know her really well if you want to work with this program, but we're really excited to be here. So we appreciate you guys joining. We will pay attention to the chat box. So if you have questions, you can put those in. But this is like I said, it's something fun for me to be able to talk about something besides recruitment, although I'm grateful for my job and what I'm able to do normally. So to give you a little bit ahead of kind of overview of what this is a grant that's a partnership between IDRC and our fiscal agent is IDEA, which is through Fort Scott Community College. But we were funded through AT&T for us, for farm worker justice, and migrant and seasonal Head Start. So this is a collaborative grant project. And the funding started in January, and it will run through November of 2024. If they're happy with us, then we can get more funding. So we definitely want to do this well. But we also kind of twofold. One, we want to meet the requirements of the grant. And two, we want to make sure that this really enhances migrant ed and it's a resource that makes instruction better for everybody and that we can support your efforts through this grant. And so the funding is not migrant ed funding, which is kind of cool because it comes with a little bit less strings that some of our regular programming does. But we did write it so that we could work with migrant ed in the project. And so we'll be kind of going through today the nuances of it and how you can, if you want to work with us, how you would do that. Everything is free. And we're, like I said, we're really excited to get started. So the funding, because it is outside of migrant ed, it gives us a little bit of flexibility in a few areas. But the grant, like it says, is to really help instructional resources that are already available. So AT&T has some really cool resources that you guys can access, and we'll share how to do that. And then we'll have some support also that will go with that. So to give you a little bit more about what they have, AT&T has a project where they're trying to increase digital learning across the country. And so they've chosen some partners to be able to work with them on that, and we are one of those. And so they have two different programs. One is digital learning that's kind of PowerPoint based. That's more kind of for maybe for parents or for youth. And the things that they're looking at is like how to access different types of mobile devices, computer use, cybersecurity, email basics, video conferencing, the things that a lot of us probably could have really, really used right before COVID and still probably need now. And then there's a whole nother side that we're going to talk about a bunch today, which is something they call the Achievery. And this is a website that has a myriad of resources that can go with reading and math. It can go with digital literacy. It can go with all sorts of things that we're going to talk about today. And so we have access to all of those. The Achievery itself, I'll give you in just a little bit. We'll drop the link so you can get an account. It's pretty easy to set up an account. They have a lot of partners that they work with. So Khan Academy is one of their partners, Scratch, Weird Enough, Young Storytellers, Code.org. So basically they have lots of, like it says here, it's a free, let me just read part of what they have. A free digital learning platform designed by education experts for teachers, parents, and students. It pairs over 500 entertaining videos and clips from popular movies, television shows, with engaging learning activities aligned across 7 academic areas. The Achievery is ad-free and is available at no cost to students, parents, and educators. And so there is a short video that's I want to share. So let me see if I can get this to work. I need to get to it first. And let me maximize it. And then let me make sure I'm sharing the right thing. Okay. So let's see if this works. Hopefully it'll be loud enough for you. I'll go ahead and play it.
Hi there, I'm Allison Hanel, and I'm here to talk to you about the Achievery, a free digital learning platform created by AT&T and Warner Brothers Discovery to make distance learning more entertaining and engaging for K-12 students everywhere they learn. Here, you can learn about coding by making a jumping game with Scratch. Learn how to outline and write your own story with activities from young storytellers. Or learn how to become a news writer and be yourself on camera with CNN 10. Today, I'm excited to share how you can access all these great resources and continue your learning journey. First step is creating an account by clicking on the blue sign up button at the top of the page, and then clicking Create Account. After sharing your birth month and year, you will select the Student tab, and then choose an account preference, either an email address or a social login. If you use your email, you will provide your name, email address, and password, and click Create an Account. The Achievery will email you a verification link which will take you to the main page of the Achievery so you can log in. If you're 12 or younger, you'll need a parent to help you create an account. And this is the Achievery homepage. From here, you can kickstart your learning by engaging with activities across 7 subjects: English Language Arts, Social Emotional Learning, Technology and Engineering, the Arts, Math, Science, and Digital Literacy. You can easily filter learning activities by grade level to find the content most appropriate for you. And you can also search by standards, media types, content partner, and more. Once you've customized your search, click Apply Selection to see all the lesson plans meeting your criteria. Let's look at a sample learning activity by young storytellers, which walks through the different elements of a story and encourages students to find inspiration from their own lives. Students are then invited to dig deeper into the lesson by downloading and completing the accompanying lesson plan. In this case, thought starter questions and a creative writing activity. This is just one of the many learning activities available for you on the Achievery. We're so excited for you to explore the platform, and we can't wait to see what you learn. Click the link to get started.
All right, we have a specific link, which I'm going to drop in the chat box right now, and I can explain. So we're going to put this in. I'm going to put 2 links. One is in English and one is in Spanish. So one of the things we have to show that we are setting up accounts through the work that we do. So you can Google Achievery, but then it'll just go to general, but we would like you to, if you want to set up an account, you can set it up through here. If you're an instructor, I would set up it as an instructor if you're going to teach students. In any way, then you just do the instructor account and you can just go ahead and fill that out. So I thought I'd put that in there. So if someone wants to, we're going to show some resources and drop them in the chat box later on. And if you have an account, which takes just a little bit to fill out, you can access those directly. If you don't want to do it yet, you don't have to. We'll send those links out afterwards with the PowerPoint and the recording to everybody that registered today. So like I mentioned, there's a lot of really good content that's on there and a lot of really good partners and a lot of ways that you can use this. And so there's a myriad of resources on there. And so one of the things that we wanted to do is what we'll do is we'll explain kind of how we're going to work with this. I mean, anyone can go on there and access it and use it now. You can just go through that link and you can go ahead. But sometimes there can be a lot of information and you're wondering how to use it best, or maybe you want more training. And so there are 3 different types of accounts. There's students, parents, and educators. So the content changes a little bit in that the students and the parents can see a lot of the same things as the educator, but sometimes the information on like the lesson plan would be more like a student self-directed than the teacher's full lesson plan. But they have a lots of resources on there. So there's our links. Like I said, we'll send you this PowerPoint so that you can have those links also. And we have it linked on our website. So I want to share where that is so that you, when you are able to, let me see if I can open up I'm going to stop sharing and find that real quick. On our website, you can go, we wanted to make sure it was really easy so that you're not having to look all over. Let's see if we can drop those links in again. There's the links for that. So when you go to our website, make sure I'm sharing the right thing. Just think, this is a resource to share. So this is something that you can share. Just click on resources to share, and we kind of retooled a little bit of the site. So it's right here at the top. And so right here in this link on our website, you can now, if you don't have to kind of worry about holding on to that exact link, you can go here and you can share, make your account for Achiever in English, make your account for Achiever in Spanish. It's right there. So we'll talk a little bit more here in just a second about this request training. And then we'll also, today we'll link this training video right here. So if you want to share this with a supervisor or with anybody else, then they'll be able to have that training video available. So that is hopefully an easy way that you can find it on our website. Just remember, it's a resource to share, and you can go on there and find that. So what we really like is the content can be paired with any lesson and resource that you already have. Like maybe you're like, hey, we've got it covered, but maybe you want just some additional videos or additional things that could go along, or you just want to have some ideas of other things that you can do. It is free and available to all, and they add more content all the time. And then there is the option for teacher, which we'll be doing training for that. Also for parents, which we'll be rolling out a little bit later on, how to work with parents. And there is a lot of self-guided, like student resources that are available also on there. So what we're wanting to do, because one thing is to, just to say, hey, here's the website, you guys can go ahead and check this out, is to make sure that it's really easy for you guys to use. And one of the things that we're going to do is there's a ton of content. And if you are doing instruction at all, most of the time you don't have a huge amount of planning time. So we're going to be going through, and actually we've already done this. Jasmine has been working on this, going through and looking at all of the materials that are there. And so if you're a kindergarten teacher and you want to say, hey, what's there? We can say, hey, these are all the videos for kindergarten, or these are all the videos for first grade, or this is the videos for this grade spread. Because I know myself, when I'm planning curriculum or working, sometimes I don't have a lot of time. Yeah, it's my chat box there. Elvira said, if I close my chat box, then let me see. Yeah, it does that sometimes. Well, I'll just close it, and then in a little bit I'll check the chat. So anyway, those sheets will be available for when we do training with whoever wants to work with us. We'll show you how to, how it aligns. And then we also have other resources that are not just AT&T. We have the Student and Family Learning Portal. We have access to some free curriculums, access to some trackable free websites. And so we are looking to kind of be able to have Yasmin's position to be able to really help people know. We'll meet with you guys, see what needs you have, and then she'll be able to kind of provide a package of possible resources that could be helpful with your instruction. And so we're excited about this. I'm going to give her a chance to kind of introduce herself, and then I will check the chat box out while that's going on. So Jasmine, I want to give a quick intro.
Thanks, Jessica. Hi, everybody. I'm Yasmin Lennon, formerly Luna. I grew up in South Texas, and I'm now living in the cold North happily. I'm happy to have joined IDRC, and I'm thrilled to be here today and share some of the valuable resources from the Achievery. I will be focusing on the digital literacy across multiple grade levels in our presentation today. And it is crucial to note, though, that each of these resources not only targets digital literacy, but it also integrates any of those interdisciplinary components, social emotional, math, ELA, technology. So, making the learning experience a bit more comprehensive and enriching. As far as my background, I do come from school improvement, curriculum alignment, and instructions. I've been in education for over 2 decades. I also am a therapist and school counselor, so I do have that background as well. As I said, I came from South Texas, so hablo español, bilingual, and again, I'm really excited to be here. So without further ado, I believe we can start working.
Almost.
Okay, there you go.
Almost. Let's answer a few of your questions. Will this be free? So AT&T, yes, it's free no matter what. We just have extra money to support your efforts. And so that should be continued on. So Riona, that says, what is there for OSY? So we're going to give you an overview today, but if you guys want additional training, we'll show you how to request that. So we're not going to, there is something for everybody, but we really want you to understand the structure and kind of how it's set up. And then if you say, hey, this is something we really want, we'll show you what you can do next. See if there's any other questions. Can you please share those additional free resources at the end of the training? So we have a ton of resources that we're going to mention, but what we're going to do is kind of share links to that, but that's part of the training that Yasmin will be able to do specifically with states. And so we could just bombard you with a million things, but it may not make sense until you have that. Okay, so we will here it says materials are available to all training. So we have to track, this is the catcher for us, the real kicker that we have to have. In order for us to have the funding, we have to show that we're setting up accounts and that people are actually using this. So we'll have to be a little bit anal with people to say, hey, how many accounts do you guys have? And we'll have a tracking form. For as big as this program is through AT&T, it seems like their tracking side, like we were like, well, can't we just get access to see who signed up? They're going to give us like reports, but we have to internally kind of be able to show who we work with and how many accounts they have. So we're going to try to make that system just as simple as possible, but that is what helps us have the funding. And so we definitely want to keep that. And so if we're asking you, well, how many accounts later on, you'll know exactly why, because that's part of our training. Okay, so I am going to turn it over and I will stop sharing. And we're going to actually, I thought it might be helpful for you to actually see some of the resources. We thought we'd do multiple grade spreads because often in migrant ed, you don't have the luxury of just one grade level. You're usually working with kids in multiple grade levels. So we've kind of broken it down, and I will turn the time over to Jasmine.
All right, I'm about to share my screen. Okay, we're going to, let me make sure I share sound. All right, is everybody able to see my screen? No little black boxes showing up? You're muted, Jessica.
Sorry, I'm just talking. Are the black box gone now? And if you raise your hand, just put your message in the chat because we're not gonna like unmute anybody. So just put it in the chat and we'll pay attention. Okay, no black boxes. Perfect.
All right, perfect. All right, Jessica, I'm just going to have you focus on polls in the chart while I go through our resources.
Perfect.
I'm going to start with our K-12 level resource. So this one is called Being Kind Online, right? So this digital literacy lesson, it not only imparts the essential online skills, but it also addresses the social emotional learning standards. You're like, oh, how do I know what standards we're looking at? So you have, and these are all set up this way. So whenever you go into any of the units, it lets you know what grades it's available for. So here it says K123, who it's created by, and it lets you know the subject and content that it touches, and then gives you a little summary. And then, so this lesson happens to be self-directed. So obviously with K-12 students, you want to have that parental assistance, which we recommend. So this one is comprised of 4 separate videos, and each one is accompanied by their lesson plan. So if everybody here created their teacher account, one of the ways you can look for it is this handy dandy little search button. One of the really nice things as I've been mapping out the curriculum is if you type it out exactly, so Being Kind Online, and we hit search. Oh, and I apologize. I do currently have it in the Spanish setting. That's another thing you can do, is you can have it in English or Spanish. So we have it in the English one, and we hit search. The one I was looking at is the second one. So again, we have these 4 videos and stackable lessons. This allows for the progressive and the cumulative learning experience. Currently, it's only available in English. So as you noticed, when I was in the Spanish section, it was coming up with no units. So, but the Achievery is working on adding additional options. I am going to click on the video just so you guys can watch.
iKeepSafe presents Being Kind Online, Spotting Feelings Online. All people have feelings, and they show them in many ways. In real life, people show feelings with their voice, face, body, and words. People can show feelings online too. Online, feeling clues can be shown by sounds,
You are so cute.
words, punctuation marks, emojis, and pictures. There are so many places to find feelings online. You can see them on social media, in text messages, in online games, and on videos too. Spotting feelings online helps you to know how people are feeling and what they are trying to say. When you notice feelings online, you can learn to show kindness. And kindness is good for everyone. Can you spot feelings when you're online? Ask a grown-up to help you download and print the activity below. See if you can spot feelings when you're on the computer, tablet, phone, or other online places. When you see feelings, write them down or draw them. Talk to a grown-up about all the clues you found. Have fun!
So we can click right out of that. And again, these can be individual, they can be stacked. However, I did mention that this one is available in English. Oh, sorry, my earbud keeps popping out here. So for Spanish-speaking families, I do want to highlight a specific unit that might be fun. So up here in the top right corner, if you go from English to Espanol, you can go to the search button and I typed in happy maps. You can also put mapas felices. And if you were to click on that unit, it has everything in Spanish. This one is also interdisciplinary with technology, math, social emotional learning. So the video is still in English. However, if you download the lesson and you click on the lesson, one of the really nice things is it's entirely in Spanish. Earlier when I said, how do you know what standards you're hitting? Every single lesson plan at the very top tells you where the standards are coming from, right? So for the social emotional, we do use the CASEL. It lists the technologies, the Common Core for ELA, math, etc. So again, this is a way for if you have a parent at home, you kind of have both. You kind of have it both ways. So the student can watch the video in English and the parent can help along with the lesson plan. And that's especially important because we really want those parents to engage with the students and but still be comfortable. All right. So moving on to the upper elementary students. Okay. We have something called the House Hippo lesson. All right, let me see. Okay, so this resource serves as an introduction to media literacy and critical thinking. I need to make sure we're looking for House Hippo here. Going back to the English version. And we're actually going to do this lesson as a group. So let me click on the video. It's a short video. And it serves as an intro to media literacy and critical thinking. So again, like in our previous example, the video is in English. However, I will show you the Spanish lesson plan and we're going to go through that. So about this lesson, it hits, again, 3 of those subject areas, digital literacy, ELA, and SEL. So we are going to watch. Enjoy.
As night falls, 37 million Canadians turn out their lights and settle down for the night. But as we sleep, there's something interesting going on. House hippos have returned to Canadian homes, but they're extremely hard to spot. They enjoy admiring their reflections, hoarding socks, helping themselves to your devices, and annoying your pets. It looks like Canada has a house hippo problem.
Or do we? We brought back the house hippo to show how easy it is to be fooled in our digital world.
Is Canada really overrun by house hippos? So one of the reasons I love this, especially for the elementary, upper elementary, is that critical thinking, right? I'm sure you know, most of us have worked with the littles and have, you know, come up with fun stories. I know my own son would tell me something about, I think it was like a Nissie, and he said the Nissie did it. And would, you know, as he was getting exposed to YouTube, would say, oh, but I saw it on YouTube. So again, those critical thinking skills, you know, what's real, what isn't. And if we go to the Spanish version and we go to the lesson, again, puedes creer lo que estás viendo, ¿verdad? So at this point, I'm gonna have Jessica start a poll, and you're all going to decide with me if something is real or not. ¿Cuáles son reales? So if we look at that first picture, you know, it's like a little pink fish, I think. And then second picture, we have, I don't know, it kind of looks like a Muppet, maybe one-eyed Muppet. And then our third picture, we have some sort of blue multi-starfish, something or other. And then 4, we have a knitting gorilla. All right. So can't seem to get it all in one page, but if you guys would, if everybody would go ahead and post their polls, which one of these pictures do you think is real?
We'll give you like 30 seconds because there's a bunch of you, and it'd be really interesting to see consensus on this.
I will give you the answers afterward.
So you just go ahead and put them in the poll if you want to. We'll give you about 15 seconds. Looks like we're almost at 100 of you. Okay, should I go ahead and end the poll? So
yeah, I think
we're good.
I want to see the results.
Okay, let me know if you can see the results.
Oh, perfect. All right. So 10% of you said that 1, 2, 3, and 4 are real. 26 said 1 and 2 only. 24 said 2 and 4 only. 5 said 2 and 3 only. 28% said 3 and 4 only, and 8% said 1, 2, and 3. All right. So the funny thing is the answer is 2 and 3 are real. So that first one that looks like a little squishmallow, I think that's what the kids are calling it these days. That is not real. It's just really cute and pink. I do believe they exist, but this is not the real fish, animal, squishy thing, jellyfish. The second one that I called the Muppet, I'm really surprised because I did not know, but this is real. So this is a mutated shark that somebody caught, and if anybody has seen this before, it made the rounds and nobody believed it was real, but this one is actually real. For number 3, that is also real. So that is I'm going to call it a blue demon, but it's actually it lives in the ocean and it's very poisonous. In fact, there's a video of a woman that saw it. It's really translucent and beautiful, and caught it in her hand, and everybody was just astounded that she didn't get stung because they are quite poisonous. And then number 4. So number 4 is a bit of a mix. It is a real gorilla. The issue is that somebody photoshopped it knitting. I I don't think even Coco could knit. So so this is one of those, things that you can bring up when you're having this lesson, when your instructors are sharing this with the students. So thank you all for participating in that. I just thought everybody would enjoy it. Let's see, what makes this lesson truly versatile is its adaptability to differentiated learning. So lessons at the middle school and high school level use this same video, have different lesson plans, but they delve deeper into that ELA aspect, the digital media, the social emotional learning, again, those critical thinking. So it provides that well-rounded, age-appropriate educational experience. And again, as we're mapping this, one of the things that I noted is, you can use this lesson, and then this is the middle school version, this is the high school version. So especially for agencies, groups that have those programs that are multi-level, right? You want to be able to hit all three of them at the same time. All right, let's see, let's go to the middle school level. What do we have here? Okay, all right, so for middle school, I chose, we're turning our attention kind of to huge essential topic in today's rapidly evolving world, right? So artificial intelligence and ethics. ChatGPT's a really big thing right now in the quest to prepare our students for those challenges, right, in the 21st century. The Achievery is curated the resources that align with those problem solving and those critical thinking skills again. So, in this era of digital literacy being entwined with like the ethical decision making, one of our goals is to empower students to be conscientious and responsible users of technology. So, this focus on AI and ethics is particularly relevant for the migrant education population. It addresses like those contemporary challenges, and it prepares the students to be active participants in our technologically advanced society. So if we were to click on it.
No matter what field you end up going into, it's quite likely
I'm not
that
going to
AI
show the
is
whole
going to
video.
have some impact on what you're doing.
The potential for AI to help society is enormous.
It's something that is influencing a lot of very important decisions about real humans and their lives.
It could be used in education to be more of an equalizer between people. It could be used in healthcare to develop new drugs. It could be used in science to develop new technologies.
And like any technology, its application will depend on how it is utilized.
And at the same time, we need to think about the risks that are associated with doing that.
The consequences are huge.
Awesome. So I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of, just to see that portion. One of the things that I wanted to point out, especially because there was a question earlier about how this can help the OSU, the out-of-school youth. A lot of the lessons on here are actually career-oriented to give some of those out-of-school youth that career exploration, right? That have them say, "Oh, I didn't think about this this industry. How do I get there?" So I do love the career engagement that the Achievery shows. And then I think our final area that I had was our high school version. And again, this one is entirely in Spanish, not only the lesson plan, but the video. So I will give a quick video show and tell.
Oigan, ¿qué pasó con las luces? ¿Quién anda ahí? ¡Ah! Oh, madre mía. Chicos.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Estás bien?
Sí, es que estamos rodando un episodio.
Lo siento, Julie. Pensamos que sería visualmente llamativo.
Fue definitivamente llamativo.
Oh, hola a todos. ¿Episodio? ¿Estamos en televisión? ¿En el cine?
Este episodio es sobre el robo de identidad o fraude de identidad. Y sí, creo que por eso hicieron una imagen gigante de mí.
Es muy aterrador, debo decir, pero saber que alguien está usando tu identidad para hacer algo es inquietante.
Sí, en este tipo de delitos.
So, of course, that goes further into any non Spanish speakers, it's talking about identity theft. Again, another huge digital literacy venue we want to make sure that our students go into. And again, Spanish lesson plan, hitting ELA, hitting the technology, digital literacy, as well as SEL. So those are the 4 sections. And then, and this is just, I'm going to share something really quickly, and this is more for the organizations that we've partnered with, that one of their goals is to spread that digital literacy message. Is that one of the things I've been mapping for digital literacy, including the 10 lessons, is those links to the Achievery that have to do with internet basics, have to do with digital citizen series, cybersecurity, email basics. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that. Again, our biggest goal is to empower educators and students alike with the engaging, the relevant, the inclusive digital literacy resources. And as you explore these sample lessons today on your own, I really want to encourage you to envision the possibilities for your classrooms and how these materials can enhance that learning journey of your students. So that being said, I do look forward to delving into these resources and unlocking that potential for, transformative learning experiences. I'm going to hand it back to Jessica.
Perfect. Thank you. So I noticed several of you are saying that maybe you haven't been verified or you're not getting a confirmation email. So you should be able to just go to the login page then and be able to see if it works. Now, once in that login, it should recognize you. So just go ahead and check that out. So like it says here, we'll meet with any interested state that wants to use these materials. So we're not just going to send out like a million spreadsheets and be like, here you go. We have to show that we're training on how to use this. You can go ahead and just do a search throughout the whole site. You can use anything that's already there with your account. But if you want support, and in Yasmin's mind is every single one of the videos, because part of what our setup was literally looking at everything, because when we got the grant, we wanted to make sure that they were high quality and that we weren't saying, guys, you should use this without, coming back and saying, hey, this maybe is not what we really high caliber. The good thing is it's done really well. And there are some things that we think that we can really help, that can really help migrant programs. And there's a lot of things that you can already add. Like there were questions of what happens if are the materials in Spanish. You can literally turn the whole site so that if they set up a student account, anything they see will only be in Spanish. They won't see the English. There might be a few ones that maybe are relevant in both languages, but it's going to be, relevant for them. And so I just want to explain a little bit about how this is going to work. Once we have different types of training that'll be available. First is just access to the site, and then we have the additional tools like the spreadsheets that'll be like, hey, these are really good for OSY, or this is good for high school students. And Yasmin will be working with whoever is interested. To the first thing that we'll have is I'll put our form of how you request training. She'll be reaching out and then sitting down with whoever. We won't train individual instructors because we could never have enough time in the day to be able to do that. What we'll do is train a district, train a region, or train a state. So if you are, the only person in your district, that of course we would work with just you, but ideally it shouldn't be a recruiter that's like, or one instructor that's like, hey, I want training. You should go to your supervisor and say, I want to use this resource. And then we should train whoever could possibly use that resource. So the training can be done at any time. It is free. It is virtual. We do have a little bit of money for in-person things, but we're going to be very selective with that because the money could be gone quickly. But if you have a training for many teachers at one place, maybe it's the beginning of, maybe your conference for instructors or anything like that, we can definitely share. Is there a timeline for a request? So it's going to be first come, first serve. So I noticed somebody already filled out a time request because I just got a notification. But we're going to try to be super efficient and work. But the training that we'll do first is how to use the site, the resources that we have to support that. We also realize that some of you are saying, hey, I am the recruiter / tutor, and I haven't really been getting a lot of training, and I'm not sure exactly how to work with 3 grade levels in the same house, and I'm not even sure where to get started. So some of the things that we're going to be offering going forward, like we may do monthly trainings or differentiation of instruction. So in a lot of different levels, maybe you're teaching, you're going home in home and doing in-home tutoring, and you've got a 3rd grader and a 7th grader and a 9th grader, like, and you only can work with them for an hour, how you could really make this effective for multiple grade levels. Or maybe you have students that are in the same classroom, but they're all on different ability levels, either related to language or skills. So we can do training on that. We can also do training on standards alignment, incorporation of how to use this with your current program, student needs mapping, and then aligning instruction to ELL learners while you're teaching rigorous content. So we will share the forum here in just a second, but what Jasmine will be doing is really working and reaching out. I will be working with her in the role of kind of supervising and helping. And like I said, one of my passions that I never get to do is curriculum and resources. So we also have a lot of other resources that we have. So we will be recording this, but we also have on our website, if you're not familiar with this, IDRC has a student and family learning portal. And on this portal, we have a whole bunch of free websites that are game-based, that are student-led kind of activities that you literally could put the student and they would want to do it because they're going to play games to learn math or games to learn reading. And so we're going to also align this to the resources that are in that. And then we have some curriculum resources that are STEM-based that we'll be sharing. So there's a lot more that you'll get, but we're not a big fan of just like dumping it and being like, hey, here's a link to this. All right, good luck. We want to make sure that we've worked with you, that we know what your needs are, and then we can help kind of tailor it. Of course, you can just take this and run with this. If you don't need our help, that is perfectly fine too. Just please use that link. There was a question of whether you can track student access to that. The way they've set it up, and I believe it's to help keep it free, is it's more like they can track if people have gotten on and used their account. They can track like if certain videos have been watched, but it's not set up as like that you can go in and set up a classroom or anything. It's more that you can access any of the materials, you can use them. It's designed as you're working with a student, or maybe you assign them to do something and you follow up with it and you can talk to them in that discussion to see if they've used it. But it's not something that you can go home and be like, okay, I can see that 5 families are using it right now. So let's see if there's any questions that I've not seen. Is there a specific way that you want us to be documenting? Yeah, we will work with you guys specifically on those of you that are doing it and you're having student accounts. We can, because I'm going to talk about a resource, another thing that you can get if you track the number of accounts. So one of the really cool things about this is we also have included in our grant are some technology scholarships. So it works 2 ways. One is to help us keep track of who actually has accounts and who's creating these. And so we'll have forms once we've met with you of exactly how that can be taken care of and tracked. And then if you have 50 accounts created, we'll be able to provide a technology scholarship to the student or family of your choice. There is paperwork that we have to show because we have to show that these are going to kids and not just going to schools. But we will be able to give the technology tablets to families or to youth depending on how. So that will be based on the number of accounts. And then once you have enough accounts created, then you'll be able to fill out that form and show who you think needs it and why. And then we'll be able to work with that. Let me look at the things. Okay, so few of our grant reporting requirements, just so you know, like I said, this is not Migrant Ed. This is a new way that we're doing this. AT&T wants to know what trainings we've done, when we did those, what kind of format. So each one that Yasmina is doing with each group, she'll have to talk about like how many people were there, what group did we work with, who participated, what did we train on, and how many accounts were created because of that. And then they like to know the number of nonprofits engaged in using it, number of schools, and number of students. So we will have some simple forms that as we'll meet with you, we'll give you the resources. We'll also have you the trackable forms that you can fill out and keep track of those. Once we hit 50 accounts and we can see that, then you'll receive the scholarship process that you could be able to do. And this can go on throughout the year, unless we run out of our money before, or but we won't run out of the position. Will be there, and Jasmine will be able to really work with everybody as she's throughout this. Okay, so will you send us to be the information. It says to be eligible for the scholarship, is it 50 students account or staff accounts? So let me in you on a little secret. As many staff accounts really helps us out. We want staff accounts, but it's 50 total accounts. So staff count too, if your whole, maybe you're a small program and you only have, you're going to have your local school district. So this is another cool thing. Anyone can use the Achievery, resources. So in your local school district, if they want to add it to anything that they're doing with reading or math or STEM, they can have complete access. So that's because it's not migrant ed funds. It's not like you can't share it with somebody else. You can share it with anybody. We have to track the total number of counts that we have. So we're pretty excited, but we will share with you guys all this information. So if you are interested in training, like it says here, we'll work with local school districts, regional programs, and state leadership for migrant ed programs. So if your state, right now, I know several of you are on that are like leadership in your state and you want it just to be able to be provided for all of your instructors, reach out. We do have an electronic request form that has to be filled out. Again, this is one of our grant requirements. Once we receive the request, we'll set up a time as quick as we possibly can to learn of your needs. And then, so it's kind of like, hey, how are you guys set up? What's your structure? How could we best support you? And then we can do that training. Training will generally be done. These will be, like less than an hour. We'll kind of walking you through, showing you the resources. So it's not super cumbersome. We just want you to know, but then you can ask for follow-up training. Maybe you've got your teachers that are starting to use it, but you just need more support on just better instruction or something like that. You can reach back and we can definitely work with you on that. So here is the form. This is what it looks like. And some of you figured this out already because I'm getting notifications of people already sending these in. But if you go to our website, we'll just make sure it works because we have the link right there. But if you go to our website and you scroll down to resources you share, and it says request training to use in the Achievery. This is the interest form. And the form is pretty simple to fill out. And the idea is to give us an idea of your current situation of how you guys provide instruction. We're not trying to change anything. We're trying to improve on what you're already doing. So it'll just ask what state you're from, what project area you're requesting it, the name of the person filling it out, the position title. We are not going to send it by email. You guys can go ahead and go find that on the website where I just showed it to you. You'll have the address of whoever, the work phone, because we also have to track like cities and those, how many migrant students are in your area, how is instruction to MEP students provided in your area, how many accounts do you expect to need for this, and provide some dates of availability for a planning meeting. So, and then provide any additional comments. The more information you can give, the more helpful it would be. So again, if you want to find that, go back to our website. There are a lot of you, and I want to make sure everybody knows how to find that, but the more that we can automate it, the more we'll be able to help people. So if you can just go to our resource page right here, and then right here, if you had any snafus with the English signing up for the Achievery, you can click right there. There's the English one. And if you click right here, here's our Spanish one right there. And below is the request the training for the Achievery. So it should be really easy to be able to get started with this. You don't have to have us to get started. You can literally get your account and go ahead and check it out. We found that there are a ton of resources, and we realized that sometimes people don't have the time to search for everything, or sometimes you just want like a catalog of like, what is there? There were several of you said what's available in Spanish or what. So we're creating those additional resources to go along. And as we train with you, we'll be able to do that. And then for those of you that were not aware of our learning portal, if you go right below on the resources to share, we have a learning portal with a ton of resources in here. And for those of you that were wanting something trackable to follow your kids, if you go to the teacher section right here, there is let me see if I can get this to work. There is a listing, my computer, I've got too much stuff open. There's a listing of a whole bunch of different free websites that allow you to kind of do instruction that you can track so that you can assign certain tasks or certain skills for students to work on. So that is something also we'll be talking about in the training. Is we'll have the AT&T resources, we'll have the learning portal, and then we have a few other ones that we'll be sharing. So we're just hoping that this can really help everybody, and it's free, and we just are excited to get started. So let me go back to my slides. I do have one other thing that we always have to fill out. I know it's not, you guys may have some questions. I also have an evaluation. We always have an evaluation after everything that IDRC does. And so I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat box for if we need it in just a second. But we can answer specific questions if anyone has questions. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.